Yes, Alex?
Let me tell you about Man.
I've swapped complete failure as a Kickstarter.
Star Fox Command is the first game that you get to be Anthony Birch.
The first of many fuck yous. Like a fucking Looney Tunes? Suck.
The only stipulation was behave yourself and keep your dick in your pants, and you have not followed through on that.
Hey, Tad.
Yes, Alex?
Let me tell you about Awesome Games Done Quick.
Aw, man. The biannual speedrun marathon sensation that is sweeping across the nation. Games Done Quick?
Yeah, that one. Games Done Quick is a big speedrunning collectiveness thing where a bunch of people all get together to speedrun video games to raise money to prevent cancer.
They have two events. They have one during the winter. I think it's always in January. And then they have one in the summer called Summer Games Done Quick. I think the one in summer is for Doctors Without Borders, which is a charity that helps pay for doctors who go to quote the United States president, shithole third world countries and provide medical care.
Yeah, pretty much.
And it's speedrunning is a kind of peculiar type of video gaming.
Let's just get it out of the way right now at the start of this. So me and Ted have some opinions on speedrunning in general. So I'm going to go with mine first. So I actually don't hate speedrunning. I think it's actually really cool. And I like that it's a different way to play some games. To find out quick tricks to get through things really fast without having to do stuff. And I like the competitive aspect of it, where rather than fight each other directly in some kind of stupid game, you're fighting for a better score or a better time on a video game. I like that a lot, and I like this is being used to save money for a good cause. But I think it's a little, I'm going to say it, I think it's a little autistic how some people get a little too into speedrunning. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean. So speedrunning is, I don't remember who said this originally, but when you play a game, if you want to get the best at it, if it's a fighting game, you go to Evo. You know, you go to Evo, you win grand prize, and you're the best at whatever fucking game you're playing. You're the best at SNK heroines. You know, you're the best around. If you look at and this is kind of to a lesser degree because this doesn't really apply anymore. But if you're at an arcade and you got 1 million points in Final Fight, and so that name, you know, on the very top of the scoreboard, the one that says ASS, that's you because you're at the top of the scoreboard. You did it, champ. But if a game doesn't have points and it doesn't have a competitive aspect to it, how do you become the best? Well, you beat the game real fast. And that's kind of the basis of speedrunning. It's, you are the best at playing this game. You are better than everyone else because you can do everything the game has to offer faster than anyone else. And that's kind of fun. Like, I see the appeal. But some games, it gets, as Alex said, you reach a certain point where it's like, well, hold it there. Hold it now, hold it now. Hold it right there. And even then, it's a very fine line to cross between, oh, that was a really cool speed run, or, oh man, they used a bunch of really cool glitches. And I think it's not really so much the context of what these speed runs are, but the types of people who are attracted to doing a speed run that requires you to do like 39 inputs after you beat Goma to open a door and teleport to Ganon's castle to beat Ocarina of Time in 17 minutes. The type of people that gravitate to that, and that doesn't mean that everyone, of course, you know, that's generalization, but I think Games Done Quick is a pretty good summary of the speedrunning community.
You'll have people like that Pokemon speedrunner of this year, 2018, who when they were interviewing him was like really awkward and nervous when he was talking, because he's some nerd that plays Pokemon. He's not really used to the attention.
Was that the Japanese guy that had a translator?
I don't think it was that guy. then you'll have like the Bloodborne speedrun run by Dudicus Maximus here with his really huge beard, his PlayStation hat being really loud and obnoxious. Like you get both aspects of what like the average, the stereotypical gaming nerd is. You know what I'm saying? When you look at this kind of stuff, because it's just an entire room of people who either speedrun or who just want to watch and are interested in speedrunning. You know, nerds.
Or dorks.
Yeah, fucking dorks. So, when it comes to speedrunning games, one of the things I don't like is I don't like people who speedrun types of games, genres of games that I don't want to see speedrun. Prime example, I don't think anyone wants to watch a 4+ hour long speedrun of an RTS game. Nobody cares about that shit, am I right?
I think that's pretty fair to say. What makes a speedrun interesting is it's partially optimization of mechanics. You are doing some mechanic in the game to the maximum efficiency possible, even going above sometimes what the game intended for you to do by exploiting mechanics. And then the alternative, and then that, and as well, you have glitches. A really good example of what a speedrun glitch can do is the speedrun for Luigi's Mansion. It was like 4 hours? 3 or 4 hours. And then someone discovered a way to glitch out of bounds, and now it's like 7 fucking minutes. And that's really, it's really impressive. The first time you watch that Ocarina of Time, any percent speedrun, you see him go in there, he starts doing some weird stuff. You're like, oh, he picks up a bottle and it replaces his Deku stick. Okay, I mean, that's weird, but okay. And then he does a backflip and he gets behind Fido. Was it Fido? Is Fido the guy who guards the Deku tree until you get a sword and shield?
I don't remember the name of that guy. All I know is he's an annoying little shit.
It's Mido, I think. It's Mido. I think it's Mido. But when you see him glitch behind him and he goes into the tree and then he beats Goma, he does a backflip, jumps to the left, rolls forward, jumps to the right, backflip, roll forward, opens a door, and suddenly he's on top of fucking Ganon's castle? Like, that's crazy. That's awesome. When you see someone playing Mega Man and they are fighting the boss in such a way that they survive with one minuscule amount of, like, one itty bitty tiny bar of health, but they were like, nah, no big deal. I got this. And, you know, like, they're glitching through walls, doing all sorts of crazy shit. That's really awesome to watch. And before we get more into AGDQ as an event, or what we don't like about it, what we don't like about some of these speedruns, I think we're going to start off with the good stuff. The things that we saw at these events that were interesting.
Here's what I consider the good runs out of all these games done quicks that I've seen so far. So, one of my absolute favorite ones is 2015 Punch-Out for the Wii by Zallard1. They're having a really fun time with the game and explain everything in nice enough detail while still playing the game very well because Punch-Out, it's not that, like, you know, deep or anything. And one thing I can tell, like, of a good runner who's having a lot of fun with whatever game he's playing is he'll be unoptimized just for the sake of entertaining. Example, when he fights Super Macho Man, he doesn't skip Macho Man's intro. Remember, because Macho Man's like, are you ready? Because I'm going to put on a show. And, like, flexes and zooms in on his ass that says, like, Superstar on it. Like, they would just have actual fun with the game and with, like, the commentary. Another good speedruns, 2 different ones, 2014. A lot of these are going to be from older events, by the way.
Yeah, let's start with the older events and then work our way forward.
Oh, I wrote it down, don't worry. But, both blindfolded speedruns of Punch-Out by Sinister1 and Super Punch-Out, also by Zallard1.
Those, just the name, Blindfolded Punch-Out, you're like, well, hold on a sec, because, okay, so there's multiple layers to why that run was so interesting. Number 1, someone's playing a game blindfolded. Whoa, that's kind of crazy. Number 2, Punch-Out is a game about reacting to the tells that the boxers have. If you don't have that, how the fuck does he play the game? Because when you play the game, it feels random.
Mm-hmm. You play it off of pure patterns and audio cues, whenever they might say or do like a sound effect. What I like is the Super Punch-Out one is my favorite out of these 3 Punch-Out runs, is because there's it's very engaging because he actually has moments where he's kind of getting beat by the bots. because memorization for a human being can only carry you so far. So I highly recommend watching that one by Zylard1. Very great run. 2015 Shovel Knight by Captain Drake, because that is one of the early Shovel Knight speedruns they had, where they actually had Yacht Club Games on the phone talking about the game when they were playing it. Then 2015 Kirby Superstar 100% by Used Pizza. Very biased because I just really like Kirby a lot. Then 2016, highly recommend Sunshine by Bouncy Boy, because he has a lot of screw-ups in it, and it's much like the Super Punch-Out one. It's just very engaging to see him actually play and kind of just mess up. Because when you're watching a guy play completely robotically perfectly, sure, it's cool that you can see a human do that. But when I see it over and over again, it's a little uninteresting now. I want to see him mess up. I want to see him struggle and then triumph. I want a goddamn show, damn it. Highly recommend both 2014 and 2016's Jack and Dexter runs with Bonesaw. Any run with Bonesaw is really, really good. He's a fan favorite for a reason. And my final run that I really like is not from Games Done Quick whatsoever. It's actually from RPG Limit Break. It's that 7.5 hour long Chrono Cross run with Spike Vegeta and Evil Ash 25, because they're both very good commentators, and I really like Chrono Cross. And I contradict myself because I said I don't like watching long RPGs, but this one's okay. What about you, Tad?
And okay, so we already went over the 2 worst speed runs. No one gives a fuck about you beating Final Fantasy VII in 10 hours. No one cares. Sit the fuck down. I don't care about that. No one wants to see you wants to see you struggle with StarCraft 2 for 45 minutes as your run totally falls apart and you don't get past the 3rd level. What I loved, so the very first run that got me to start watching these was Super Monkey Ball. Because I've played Super Monkey Ball. What it is it's primarily an arcade game where you had a banana. You control it with a banana. And you tilt the stage and the monkeys roll around in the ball. And how the game is played, it's got a pretty good physics engine. So when you bounce off stuff, if you're going fast, if you hit it at a certain angle, you're going to bounce at a realistic direction. And so this guy, I'm like, whoa, he beat Monkey Ball Master Mode in what? Hold on a second, what? That's really short. That's shorter than it should be. And so what these are is he will go max speed in one seemingly random direction, hit a small wall, and just fucking fly into the goal. And it was crazy, because he would launch himself over these huge fucking gaps. He would have to have precise angles and hit stuff on certain frames to launch himself in there. I'm like, whoa, holy shit, this is actually really cool. Well, Super Monkey Ball, I think, has been at pretty much every event. I know it has been at, I guess it may have been 2015, but I'm pretty sure it was earlier. But another run I really, really loved, it was, I don't have the exact year, but it was Big John. He's this big black dude, super fun guy. He's great. He did Mario All-Stars as Luigi.
Oh, yeah, that was 2015. I actually skipped that one on my list. Game J06, absolutely fantastic runner, because he sprayed ran at both at 2015, I think both Summer and Awesome Games Done Quick. He did Mario Brothers Lost Levels, the original copy on NES, and then the Super Nintendo remake version. Yes,
and what he did was he was sandwiched between 2 very serious players. Because when people are playing, they're not the most charismatic people. You're a speedrunner. You play a video game really, really, really fast. You're not going to be giving a fucking speech at the Pentagon. And that's okay. I understand that. But, ooh boy, some of these people are real dry. And so Big John just goes out there, sits on the couch like, yo, what's up? I like to play Luigi because he's my dude. Let's do this. And he just goes through, and he just acts super casual about the runs.
My favorite thing was during this one jump where he almost falls off the ledge. You can hear a couple people on the couch go and gasp. He's like, shh, 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 baby, don't be scared.
I know, I loved it. It's a really fun run. He was the best part about that year's events.
And of course, he got banned, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, he got banned for. We'll go into that in the next segment. Another ones, I don't remember which year this was, but I believe this was Summer Games Done Quick. Someone at the event, or a few days before it, brought up Die Hard on NES. and they would have setup times between games. And what they would do is they would have different speedrunners attempt to play Die Hard and beat the world record and beat the game in time. What you do with Die Hard is you have a time limit, and you have to... That's right. You play the game, and you're supposed to collect power-ups and go around and do a bunch of stuff. And then once the timer hits 0, you have the final showdown. So what they do is they break some glass and step on it and hurt them down to like 1 HP. And then they just climb up and down stairs because they hurt their feet so much it takes them like 5 hours to climb the stairs. So they do that, and it's only like a 4-minute run. But you step on all this glass, you go up there, and then you have to fight the dude, and then if you win it, you're going to have the world record. And so they had all these different runners doing it. It was just a real short in-between. They'll get really, really hyped because they would get really, really close. And they had to like dodge one thing that would be kind of random. And it was a lot of fun. It was just a small thing they did. It made that really, really fun and casual. There's also another thing about that. There's a guy, he wore a yellow shirt, and he was there spectating every single runner. He was always there in the background, being there to support them doing their runs. If it was 4 a.m., he was there. If it was Ocarina of Time, completely packed, he was there. And people started to notice him for 2 things. 1, his yellow shirt, and 2, his very distinct laugh. And his name was Bluegrass, but people call him YSG, Yellow Shirt Guy. And he was a ton of fun. He's it's just because there would be something that would happen. And people in the background would laugh. And very, very clearly, you could hear his laugh. And it's one of those things that just, it happens so much, it just becomes part of the speedruns. You hear like, oh boy, he told a funny joke. And then you cup your ear, and then you hear him laugh. I already talked about Ocarina of Time any percent. Then there's 2 more runs that fucking blew me away. You already mentioned Blind Punch-Out, because that was fucking crazy.
Oh yeah, dude.
But the other ones, they did TASBot. So TAS is Tool-Assisted Speedruns. They did a segment where they had people program these robots to do these runs. And one of the robots did a speedrun of Super Mario World so hard they started playing Pong. They rewrote the fucking game's code to code it into Pong. And then they just played a round of Pong and Snake. And that's how they speedrun Super Mario World. That was fucking crazy to watch. Because what they did was they had a controller. And they set a robot up to do certain inputs. And then translate those inputs as inputting code. And just had it use that controller, and then boom, there we go. And then the last one I will mention. And this is one that I saw it on the list, and I thought, whatever, this sounds lame. Tetris Grandmasters. If you think a Tetris speedrun isn't like anus-clenchingly serious and hardcore and fucking awesome to watch the Tetris Grandmaster speedruns. It is abso-fucking-lutely insane, and then the blocks turn invisible. So go watch that run. That one was fucking awesome.
Excellent taste in speedruns. Though I'm sad you didn't mention Bonesaw at all. He's like the best. What's wrong?
I didn't watch his Jak and Daxter one. Speaking of his Jak and Daxter speedrun,
a big thing that happens with these games done quick events that most people talk about him is all the drama and the controversy that happens during them. Example being someone like Bonesaw, who is like a 90s dude gamer. Like, he's like, I think the first fucking thing he was like 17. So I just remember like his mom had to take him there. Like, he was just some kid. And he's just like, he's got his spiked hair, he has his sunglasses. He looks like that bad boy shirts wearing kid from Spy Kids. And he just goes around and he just has this foul fucking mouth. And he just keeps swearing all the time. So they banned him from swearing too much. Which, I mean, I guess that's not the worst ban in the world, but it still feels lame because the event was like, he was like one of the faces. Everyone loved him the most. He had the best runs. He had the stupid little anime girl plush that everybody used to also love, that they can't bring anymore. And what happened with Games Done Quick is, after 2015 hit, once when 2016 happened, the guy who runs Games Done Quick, whose name is Japanese and I can't pronounce it, I'm sorry, or it's some kind of Asian language that I can't pronounce, forgive me. But he partnered up with an actual, like, cancer foundation.
Yeah, because before this, they were just, hey, we're doing it for this charity. We're going to donate all this money that we get from PayPal or whatever and give it to them. It was just kind of a third-party system like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now you have all of these turbo nerds, all these turbo nerd speedrunners who are now officially partnered with the Prevent Cancer Foundation.
An actual foundation.
And Twitch, because they bring in hundreds of thousands of viewers daily to Twitch in the weeks in which they speedrun their games.
So now that you got them all teamed up and everything's all official and stuff, they had to make a couple changes. So people like Bonesaw swearing up and down like a sailor couldn't be allowed anymore. People like Game J06 doing a very, very soft little passive-aggressive joke about golf for the NES banned.
Some of them, it makes sense. Like, you can't have what Werster was doing in 2013. You can't keep doing that. But even then, that's not a ban. That would have just been like, hey, we're official now. Please don't go on. Don't do that again. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just search Werster AGDQ and you'll find it. It'll take maybe two scrolls of a wheel and a click of a mouse.
But it isn't always just their fault. It isn't the Games Done Quick boogeyman taking out all the good runners away. Sometimes it is the people in the crowd or the runner's fault. And sometimes it's been there for years, like 2013, the Ocarina of Time 100% speedrun. Can you stop?
So let's set the mood. Let's set the mood before we get to the run.
Of course.
So 2013 was, if it wasn't the first, it was the second. Okay, so it was the first. So it's the first event. Ocarina of Time is the last speedrun. It is the final one. They had this guy come out there. He's wearing a full Link costume. He's getting into it. He's having fun. This is, for the first time, a lot of people seeing an Ocarina of Time speedrun. And so it's about an hour into the run, I think.
It was a little bit into the speedrun, and he's doing a trick where he's rolling around, and Link does a little hot every time he rolls. And this girl in the back, she somehow gets to the floor. She says, "Now, you might not have noticed, but I've been here knitting this whole time." So I have to pause the video every time I rewatch it and immediately say to myself, if you have to open up your sentence with, "You might not have noticed me, but," that means nobody cares. But anyway, she keeps going, and she says, "I'm just knitting this sweater because my grandma or some shit died from cancer and blah, blah, blah. And, hey, can you stop?" And she tells the runner to stop because he's doing this fucking trick that's making a lot of noise and interrupting her story, even though her story is interrupting the flow of this fucking game, the entire reason everyone's here.
Well, okay, see, now this is where I feel like I should defend her a little bit.
No, you shouldn't.
There are two main purposes of this event. The first one is to gather money for the Prevent Cancer Foundation. The second one is just show off cool speedruns. I think that for the organizers...
She's neither of those things, Tad.
Well, the whole point is that she was knitting a sweater or whatever. She was knitting like a quilt in honor of her grandma. I don't think she should have just been like, "Hey, could you stop doing your speedrun for a second? I need to talk." That's kind of rude. There's setup times between stuff. Also, like, lady, this isn't... you're not running this. Like, I understand and I feel bad for you, but you are not the center of attention. I'm sorry about that.
Well, Ted, you may not have noticed, but she's knitting a sweater. Just because the purpose of what you're doing is noble doesn't mean the way you're doing it still isn't wrong. She was completely in the wrong, and I don't care what her reasoning was. She's a little cunt. She should not have done that. Another thing that was, again, entirely the people running the game, and the most famous one that has 3.4 million views from 2014, the good old year, Chibi and Caveman running Tomba 2.
I fucking love this moment. I love it so much.
Ted, I would really prefer if you would be quiet.
Alex, you can't do that. I am the caveman. You are the chibi.
No, I'm never being chibi. You can suck my dick. It's calling someone the chibi is just actually calling... That's like calling somebody Sheldon from The Big Bang Theory. You're just calling them an unlikable, jittering autist.
Well, Alex, what's wrong with chibi?
Okay, so chibi, and he said it, so it's not like this is me calling him an asshole or something, does have a little bit of autism. He is slightly on the spectrum, as he says. And he goes to this run of Tomba 2, run by Caveman DCJ. And he goes to sit on the couch. He was not invited to the couch. There's just an empty spot, and he sits there to help with the commentary. And he does not normally run Tomba 2. So he should not be there. And he is constantly trying to chime in, do little, like, bits and stuff with the runner. And this was 2014 when they didn't have, like, the runner sit differently from the couch. So he was just right next to Chibi with the microphone, talking to Chibi, and being really, really annoying. I'm sorry, Chibi was being annoying to Caveman. Get the names mixed up because it'll start with C.
Yeah, because Caveman was running the game.
Yes, Caveman was running the game and playing it. And he was, talking in every bit. And if you watch the video, it is a 7-minute, like, compilation of just the moments of them both talking together. It's like a 40-something minute run, normally. About like an hour. And, it's a very progressive, amount of anger building up and annoyance building up towards Chibi that you see in the video. As the run starts off, here's how our story begins. They both sit on the couch and like, all right, it's time for Tomba 2. He's like, oh, this game looks great. Yeah, it's pretty good. And he came in pretty happy talking about this guy. Then he's like, oh, I like bagels. And then he's like, I am Tomba the Mighty. And he's just like, there's a zoom in the video where he looks right to Chibi for a second, then back to the game. Like, he's just getting so fed up with him, like, 40 minutes into this fucking game. Like, I highly recommend viewing this to see, just to see it. Just to see what an actual person with a little bit of autism actually looks like, not like a joke. It's just what it is. A guy who just is annoying and doesn't know when to stop. And the thing I gotta say about Chibi, because I'm gonna bring this up now, Tad. So, Chibi does speedrun games. That's why he's there. He's a speedrunner. And, he was speedrunning Paper Mario the 1,000-Year Door. Like this one guy I know who just really, really likes Paper Mario for no reason. And while he's speedrunning this, he has this overlay, and on his little overlay is Vaporeon from Pokemon. Now, I just want to say this right here and right now. There are certain Pokemon, and I would know this from our old Pokemon episode. I'm in this community. There are Pokemon that if you represent yourself as them is a big red flag. There are things that are not okay to like. Any type of Eevee, Vaporeon, Flareon, Old Jolteon, whatever, any of them, if you use that to represent who you are, that's a little bit of a red flag to me. I don't think you're going to be all that good. Biggest one, the one that I hate the most, and if you use this as whatever, Lugia.
And so is this the one that Chibi uses?
Chibi uses Vaporeon.
Oh.
That's what set me off. That's what set me off on this whole thing. So I got a little list here. Of all the Pokemon that I think are not okay. Do I have a moment to say this?
Yes. So these are the list of Pokemon that if someone walks into your group chat,
your Discord, your Skype, your Steamed group chat, and has this as their profile icon, you know they ain't right in the head.
You need to watch them very closely.
They might be that guy. Okay, so we have Lugia, the evolutions. Next one, Chikorita or any of Chikorita's evolutions.
Now this one is interesting because absolutely nobody likes Chikorita.
No, but the one or two people that do really like Chikorita. Now this one's an easy one, and you already know why. Dragonite.
Well, okay. So Dragonite, no one actually likes Dragonite.
No one actually likes Yoshi either. The people who like Dragonite like Yoshi, Tad. You know damn well that's true.
No, listen. We said this earlier, but I will defend people who like Yoshi who are like 0 to 10 years old, because Yoshi is a dinosaur. Yoshi is a dinosaur that eats Koopas and makes it easier for Mario to run around. There's literally... as a side note, Alex, you ever wonder what it'd be like if you were inside of one of Yoshi's eggs? Haha.
You ever wonder what... You ever just want to hug Dragonite's big fat belly? Haha.
I wonder if Dragonite's feet smell. Ha ha. Asking for a friend. Sorry if this
Moving
makes
on.
anyone uncomfortable.
Milotic. That serpent thing from Generation 3.
Now this one, I don't know. I guess maybe I just don't see a lot of people who care about this Pokemon ever. It's a light association. If I saw someone with a Milotic avatar, okay. So if it's like Milotic, but she's in like a wedding gown and like blushing,
You're starting to think about it. See, you're getting it now. You're remembering what it looks like, and you're thinking, oh, wait a minute. You got it. You already know. So, this one, only in certain situations. Absol from Generation 3, the edgy, like, dog thing. That one, don't like that one. Tropius. Now, this one might be a surprise. No, hold up.
I like Tropius. He's cool. He's a banana dragon.
No. There's nothing wrong with liking Tropius. This is specifically representing yourself as Tropius. Tropius has some pretty people who like him. I'm just saying, Tad, you happen to like Tropius too, and I know who you are. Now,
okay,
this one
Alex,
is...
there's literally nothing wrong with Tropius. I disagree on that one. He's just... there's nothing, like, outwardly fetishy or weird about him. Other than his long neck, I guess.
We'll do it some other day. This wasn't going to be that episode. Next one. Latios and Latios.
Now, at first I was calling bullshit on this, but then I googled Latios, and boy did that change my mind. So, Latios and Latios are just airplanes.
Only people like Chibi, the guy's a little bit on the spectrum, like Latios and Latias, and want to represent themselves as Latios, and want to fuck Latias. Next one, Cresselia, that weird thing made out of, like, moons or whatever, of circles and shit. That one just... honestly, that one, I've only seen a few people actually like it, but both those people I knew pissed me off a lot, so I'm putting it up there just for... that one's personal bias. Next one, Superior. Now, I
know exactly who you're throwing under the bus.
Now, here's the thing. I've said this to this person before. I'm sorry, I love you, but I hate Superior. Superior is so ugly.
It
looks like
snake.
a stupid... and I like snakes, but it looks like a Pokemon that was made just to be like, look at me, I'm a dumb squishy snake in a big old banana. Please draw weird porn of me. Look at me go. Next one.
You got weird. Jesus Christ, how many are there?
Only 4 more to go.
Only 4.
Scolipede.
Okay, I agree. Scolipede.
You know what you did. Point at you, audience. Next one. Another freebie. This one's a newer one. Goodra.
Oh, okay, come on now.
No.
Anyone who has Goodra as an icon, immediately you kick them from the server.
Nobody good wants to represent themselves as Goodra, and no one wants to actually represent themselves as Goodra. They just really want to fuck Goodra. Next
well, Alex,
one.
the only type of
Another
Goodra
freebie.
is the female Goodra.
Oh, those fucking hips. Oh. Next one. Reshiram. Another free one.
Okay, that's just one dude. That's just that one guy, justinRPG.
Don't care, putting it up there. I didn't see that guy. That Justin guy, whatever his fucking name was. This guy. I didn't see that for Trico or nothing. I didn't see that guy getting all weird about motherfucking Squirtle or nothing. No, he picked Reshiram. So that's what's getting up here. And the last one from the very new generation of Generation 7. I don't know how to pronounce it. Brioni? The second form of the little seal thing. Only weird people like the second form. See, first form, people are like, oh, it's a cute little clown seal. That's cute. Primarina, people want to fuck it, but at least that one looks a little better,
It's like
I
a
guess.
mermaid thing.
Yeah, so that one I'm like, okay, I get it. But Brioni? Question mark? That one... I don't like that one. That one doesn't seem okay to be liked the way that it is liked.
It sets off the chibi alarms.
Yeah, when I see that you like that Pokemon, that's your icon, I go, ooh, I don't want to talk to this guy more than I have to. And those are my Pokemon red flags. So if that's your icon, please don't talk to me. After this episode, people are going to change their fucking icons, I swear.
So I have 2 big moments that I remember from AGDQ that were pretty big fuck ups.
Oh, I already have my little note card ready to go.
All right, so I'm going to give off one, then you can give off one, and I'll give off another. So
Certainly.
2015, it was kind of late at night, and this was Crash Bandicoot 2. And so what it was is, so as Alex said before, there's a runner, and then there's a couch behind him, which is usually fellow runners of the game or the person's friends. What they're supposed to be is they're supposed to be like, okay, I've got to concentrate for this moment. Because they don't want the couch to be completely dead silent while the dude's playing the game. So they have these people on there to talk. And his runners didn't know fucking anything about the game. They did not know a single goddamn thing. They were supposed to be there to give him something, to give him a little bit of a break. Because he was doing a lot of the manual, like he was doing a lot of the heavy lifting, but he expected his friends to back him up. But they just fucking let him fend for himself. They threw him to the fucking wolves. And so, how you play Crash Bandicoot 2 is you will get an item and then immediately die. So it's faster to get back to the level select than it is to, finish the level. And so every time he would die, he would make a funny joke about, haha, I guess Crash wants to kill himself, or, well, boy, here we go, time to kill myself. Ugh. And this was like an hour and a half long of that one joke, no one else speaking, because he wouldn't stop talking either, so that they could read donations, because he panicked. He didn't know what to do. He didn't have a headset on for them to tell him, hey, it's okay, you can stop talking, we'll read donations. He didn't have that. And so they just let this dude go up here and die. I watched a man die live on stream for an hour and 20 minutes, Alex. And if that's not the best... So, after this train wreck of a run, the last line he says, before he leaves the run, he goes, I swear I'm going to become a psychopath and murder everyone someday. That's how he ended his run.
What did he mean by this, Tad?
He meant... he got banned from Twitch, is what he meant by it.
Okay, so a moment that I remember very, very well. Fallout 3 in 2016. They were at both AGDQ and SGDQ of this year. This one specifically happened at Summer Games Done Quick. The runner, known as Pro Gaming with Ed, excellent name, Ed, was there, and his girlfriend was on the couch. About halfway through the run of Fallout 3, he just said, because it was like a boring segment where they're just kind of like walking to the next location, because, there's a big like open space in Fallout just to run through. He's like, I'd like to take this moment just to mention my girlfriend here. She's in her second year of transitioning. Gonna get a little round of applause for that. And it's so awkward, because you could tell that his girlfriend probably didn't want to be put in the fucking spotlight for that.
It's just, okay, we're all having fun here doing a speed run, and then let's just stop everything to bring this up, and the look on their face was so fucking uncomfortable. It reminded me of Caveman.
So, my favorite thing about this run, and why it has a special place in my heart, is one night, me and my two friends, those two friends who watched all those pro RuneScape videos with me, who I swear to God are still fucking with me to this day, they were like, hey guys, let's just talk and watch some background stuff in SyncTube. And I'm like, that sounds like a great idea. And I start rubbing my hands. So I get that exact speed run. And they were talking about RuneScape for like an hour, and they fucking missed the moment, and it pissed me off so much. They didn't notice it. So I guess that proves that as much as awkward as it wasn't a big enough deal to draw the attention away from two people talking about tick rates in RuneScape.
Something that was a big deal and was noticed specifically by the announcer and the runner and everyone at the event. Well, mostly everyone on camera. So, allegedly, a runner named Stivity Bobo slept with another runner named Sam SVG's wife. And so that was in 2014. And this is all alleged. I'm not going to throw him under the bus or anything, because I don't know. I'm not going to follow, I'm not going to go into the fucking Kiwi Farm shit on this. But the next year, someone reads a donation that someone put in, $50. And it's $50 from Sam SVG. Lost my wife last June. She really loved banjo speedruns. Here's some money for a great cause, a great game, and a great runner. And you can see they're just, oh shit. shit. But you can't stop reading it halfway through because he was at the final word. So I guess he can't stop reading it the last 26th of the donation. But that one stopped me dead in my tracks when I knew the situation. I'm like, oh no. Like, you fucked up big. Oh. And then, Alex, I know you have a few more.
Yes. 2017, very easy to spot moment was during a race. The crowd was being relatively annoying and not shutting up about what they're doing. They hand a mic over to a guy. He says that...
Okay, Alex, hold on. You have to describe what the audience is doing more. So this was during the end. So Super Metroid is the big finale that they do for some of these events. They're doing a 4-way race. People are looking forward to it this whole time. And I think before it, they did Mario Party. And someone was playing as Waluigi. And so there was a bunch of people in the back of their scope going, wah, wah, really, really loudly. And so one of the runners just like, he's had fucking enough of it. And so he activates his microphone, and what does he say, Alex?
None of you guys are funny. If you want to prevent cancer, consider standing out in front of the shuttle that's running in front of the hotel on the hour. Thank you. Yeah, so he got banned immediately.
He knew he was going to get banned, but he's like, I am so fucking sick and tired of these people.
Okay, see, the thing I have with this guy is, I think he's a little shit. Like, ooh, sorry, sorry this party isn't up to your standards, you little asshole. No need to be a dick about it.
I mean...
Yeah, Tad, because people are being annoying, you don't go tell everyone to kill themselves on a fucking live stream, and the most watched live stream on Twitch. That's not acceptable behavior, dude.
It's not. I understand his frustration.
Tad, know what he should have said? I would really prefer if the crowd would be quiet.
Yep, you fucker.
That is the polite way to tell someone to shut up when you're on camera.
And Caveman, I think he got banned for that as well.
I don't think he got banned, because I can't find anyone mentioning him being banned or anything.
I don't think he ever showed up again, but that might have just been because he was like, nah, fuck this.
Probably.
I know there was, I know that he talks about it on his stream sometimes. He probably doesn't do it anymore, because he probably gets tired of people going in there like, hey man, what about Chibi?
It was, it was 2014. Yeah, it was 3 years ago, and now it's 4 years ago this year.
Yeah, 4 fucking years ago when he told someone on stream to please be quiet. Like, it's not that big of a deal, all things considered.
But at the time he said it wasn't a big deal after the moment. It was just over. They didn't talk or anything afterwards. I didn't suplex him, he says on stream. He was just, like, done with it after that. There wasn't any, like, drama or nothing. Chibi had way more stuff to say, because Chibi's weird. As previously mentioned by his red flag.
Yeah, Chibi, he's got some stuff. But the thing about AGDQ is that if you got on there as a runner, like, you get a pretty fucking hefty Twitch boost, my dude. You get a lot of people paying attention to your channel. That's how I found Big John. And then I followed him, and then he stopped streaming. So, I don't know why. I think he just got tired of doing speedruns. I've
been following Game J0. I want to say it's J06, but it's J06. I've been following him since that run as well, but he hasn't streamed in a while, which is unfortunate. I really, really like him. He's cool.
Yeah, but this year's AGDQ, it had a lot of problems. The runs, there weren't as many interesting ones, but I don't know if that's just because I've already seen so many runs. That now when I look and I see, when I see Ocarina of Time any %, it's no longer like, whoa, shit, they're doing Ocarina of Time? Let's take a look at that. It's no longer that. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, I never saw that, whatever.
Well, it's like what I said why I like the Super Punch-Out one more, or the Mario Sunshine 2016 one. Because he doesn't play it perfectly, so it's way more interesting to watch.
Yeah, they did, this year, the most interesting run. I watched a little bit of the Breath of the Wild one. But I didn't see too much that was really, like, super cool. They did Punch-Out and Super Punch-Out at the same time on one controller. What they had to do is they had to make a splicer so that they could use a Super Nintendo controller for the NES game, and it was really cool. He had these strategies where, so pressing start on the NES one would do the Star Punch. But pressing start on the Super Nintendo one would pause it. And so he had to do, because it's a speed run, he wants to beat it as fast as possible. So he could just press start, beat one of the guys up, and then Oh no, okay. So when you try to think about it, like, oh, he could just press start and beat the other guy up. Okay, he beat up Glass Joe. Now how's he going to beat the Super Nintendo one? If he presses start again, he's going to be playing 2 matches at once. So what he did, and this was really fucking cool, he staggered his matches. He would pause, he would beat Glass Joe, he would get him knocked down, press start, play the Super Nintendo one while Glass Joe was down, then fight both at the same time for a little bit, and then, finish one off, finish the other one off, go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And it was really, really cool. It's a really
as you
fun
can
run.
tell, Punch-Out runs end up being the best ones all the time.
It's just because Punch-Out's just a basic game. Unless there's Die Hard. Punch-Out and Die Hard. Those are the ones that you need, baby.
There aren't too many runs that interest me in this lineup, but I, of course, being biased as I am, like the Hollow Knight run, even if it was just a big old glitch fest.
I actually didn't see that. Was there anything really, really cool that they did?
It was the standard speedrun that I've seen before of Hollow Knight with the old bugs, the old patch, where you just damage boost all fucking over the place. I was really excited because I thought it was going to be, because the DLCs are out, it would be like at least related to the new DLCs if it wasn't like an all boss run, but it wasn't. It was just the standard like pre-bug fetch pass, glitch through walls bullshit.
That's kind of lame. I mean, how fast was it?
It was under 40 minutes.
Oh,
It
wow,
was,
shit.
sorry, under 50 minutes. Sorry, it was like 40 something.
And it was just any percent?
Yeah.
So all he had to do was just get the 3 masks, and then he was
Get the
done.
3 Watchers and kill the Hollow Knight himself, and then he was done, yeah.
Well, what we want to end this on is, I think we want to talk about what games, genres that we like to see here, and any specific games that I would love to see done at AGDQ or SGDQ 2018, whatever the fuck.
Okay.
So for me, I don't want to see another fucking RPG up there. I don't fucking...
The Cross one was pretty good.
If I see one more fucking Final Fantasy VII, I am gonna shit.
Flash 25.
Shut up, Alex. No one cares about Chrono Cross.
I do.
Literally no one cares, so shut the fuck up. Now, there was a Paper Mario stream that was pretty fucking cool, and everyone loves that one, Alex. Everyone loves Paper Mario, because it's something that I like.
Chibi likes Paper Mario.
Shit, he does, doesn't he?
Okay. So, the games that I really like in any of these kind of speedrun elements, any platformer is good because they're kind of built around it almost. Very solid choice. Early first-person shooters are actually very solid speedruns.
Now, what
Shit
makes
like
you say
GoldenEye
that?
And so, when I mean early, I mean stuff like GoldenEye, where because GoldenEye was on the N64, it ran like absolute dog shit, right? So the trick to playing the game is to minimize how little frame rate lag there is by looking down or up at shit. You have to like run like looking completely at the ground and have to memorize where each enemy is, because the more you look directly at everything, the slower the game runs because it's processing everything because it's a shitty N64 game. Like, that's kind of fucking interesting. I like how they're trying to work with how shitty the system is in their run. But like, or like the Halo run is actually pretty cool to watch.
Games that, because I would break it down to, there's a few different types of speedruns. There's the hardcore skill run, which is something like I Want to Be the Guy. There's basically no glitches that you're using. You're just using mechanics to get into areas and do things. And then there's the other one, the opposite side of the spectrum, the Ocarina of Time Any %, where you just glitch the fuck out of it. And then, like you said, there's the ones where you are doing something within the confines of the game that's non-standard. It's something that you wouldn't do in a normal playthrough of the game, but it causes things to happen.
Exactly.
Also, one alternative, one that I will accept that is interesting to see speedrun, Pokemon. Pokemon is actually pretty interesting to see done because there's so many RNG mechanics and how they kind of do some crazy shit with the game, even though it's technically an RPG.
There's actually, funny enough, I was going to bring up Pokemon. There's this guy who does world record progression, like, history videos. I think his name is Summoningsalt. Highly recommend watching his videos because there's one about Pokemon Red and Blue speedruns. And it's interesting to see, like, as people are speedrunning these games, he goes through, like, all the VODs and like, interviews people and shit. He's, like, an actual, like, history guy for speedrunning. It's amazing how each of these tricks were discovered one of the most popular tricks is you go to, this is for red and blue, the older ones. You go to the bike store, you go to buy a bike, you say no. This actually glitches the game. What happens is when you go to buy a bike and say yes or no, the text no longer like pops up like it just immediately fills out because it's trying to make it faster for the menu. So now the entire game still thinks you're in that menu, and every text bar immediately fills out. So you speed the game up by tricking the game thinking you're still in this menu. It's not like really a glitch because it is a game glitch, but it's not his fault. He didn't do it on purpose, you know? Like, it just kind of happened while he was playing the game because he accidentally tried to buy a bike too early. It's really interesting to see how they develop these tricks because a lot of them are just discovered by accidents and shit.
Now, one specific game that I would love to see done at one of these events. I would love to see some of the they had a block, and I don't know if I think they stopped doing it. It was awful games done quick, and it was really shitty games. We're talking garshasp, the Monster Slayer levels of shit, and those are really, really fun to be done. I love watching those because if I'm looking at the schedule, I see, Ninja Gaiden, Animal Crossing, Super Metroid. Okay, there's this there. Okay, whatever. That's kind of interesting. What the fuck is this? What the fuck is? Why is Chex Quest on here? Or why the fuck is
why is Bubsy the Cat on here?
Yeah, why the fuck is there Bubsy 3D? Those are always really fun to watch because one, it's a game I don't know fucking anything about, and two, they fucking crack that shit wide open.
Well, they did. Didn't this year they do Animorphs for the fucking like PlayStation 1?
I don't remember.
I think they do it because they don't do it as much anymore.
But number one game that I want to see them. It's less of like a specific game recommendation, but I want to see them do more things like the Die Hard run, where they're just, here's this really odd game that has this weird mechanic that you could speed run with that's easy to learn, but you give it to different speed runners as you're setting things up so that it keeps flowing and people get to see this thing. And they get to be entertained by this small one-shot thing where you have multiple people trying to get the high score. Alternatively, I would love to see Mario Retardy on Games Done Quick, where you play Mario Party and you set the computer to all very easy. That wouldn't fucking shut it down. I mean, if you need a filler for 26 hours, there's your game.
Let's see. If I could think of any game that I would like to see speedrun on there, I would like to see
Star Fox, because the fucking on-rail shooters that you can't make any faster.
Nice try, fuckboy. But Star Fox was already on there. They hit a score run back in 2014. I remember, because I liked that one.
Oh, it was the highest
Nice
score
try.
possible or something?
It was, they said, thank you for letting me on here. We normally don't do score runs on here, but the thing is this game is really interesting, really popular enough to get on here, blah, 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 blah. And it was just like him doing tricks to how to get the highest score on each planet. With it said like, when you lock onto an enemy, you can shoot a charge shot that explodes. And if you hit multiple enemies in one like shot like that, you get extra points, extra hits. So he does this, but unlocks on by holding the Z key and fires these charge shots with free aim at certain locations to blow up multiple enemies at once, or hit an enemy multiple times to get extra hits, thus increasing his score.
That's actually
incredibly
really cool.
interesting run. It is. Then Knights was already speedrun on there, so I already got that covered. So I'm trying to think of a game that I want to see speedrun that hasn't already been. And most games that I like or would have liked to be up there have already been up there. So I'm going to go with a shitty game. I want to see a shitty games done quick of motherfucking Garshasp Monster Slayer.
It is 3 a.m. and we got to fill a time slot. Let's play Garshasp.
Exactly.
Anyway, I'll probably tune into Summer Games Done Quick. I'll check and see if maybe if Hat and Time's on there. I'll watch that. That was a really fun game.
Surprised that wasn't here at all this year. Oh, and before we close this off, I want to say one thing that I dislike about glitch runs. One last thing. My least favorite run, if you have a least favorite run, is a Dark Souls 3 run from 2016 now, because it's 2018 now. The 2016 run was a glitched run with Teardrops of Denial, where you glitch the camera, go run through the world, and fall into a death pit, but you use Teardrops of Denial to revive yourself, or to stop your death, but you're in this weird time loop where you're at like 1 HP, dead but not dead, and you run through the entire world like underneath the world. 1, that's boring because you're not even really playing the game at this point, right? 2, he actually screws up and basically softlocks the game. So they have to cut the run, fix his computer, put the game back at that, because he didn't save at any point during this, play the game again really fast to get back to that point, and then put it back on camera. Everything about that is so wrong. They had to say, yes, this is exactly where he left off, don't worry about it.
I do remember that happened with La Mulana, where he got to the final boss, killed it, game crashed. But anyway, I guess thank you guys for listening on in. AGDQ, it's a thing. My name's Tad. You can find the podcast on iTunes and Google Play and on the website, which is www.lmtya.com. And then also find us on Twitter at LMTYA You can send us an email at the let me tell you about at gmail.com. That's let me tell you about with 3 T's, because otherwise it wouldn't fit. We also have a Discord and a Patreon and shirts. So if you want to shill the podcast on my behalf, you can do that. And I think that'll do it then. Oh, and also watch the Benevolent Buckley. Alex, remember that this podcast episode goes towards save the animals and kill the animals. And greetings from Germany.
Greetings from Streamer. This is my first year running, second year Germany, and kill the streamer.
Kill the podcast.